Welcome to St. Lucie Public Schools Transportation Department, Training and Development. Workplace Etiquette. Workplace Etiquette. The purpose of this training is to re-image the Transportation Department, not only to our external customers, but our internal partners as well. This training session's objective is to reiterate the department's initiative to improve the culture and teamwork operations within a department. Workplace etiquette means following unwritten rules set in the company by the employees. The rules are referring to having appropriate manners and behaviors, being courteous of other employees, and using the equipment in a suitable manner in order to have a harmonious workplace. Workplace etiquette pays in two ways for you and your team. First, it elevates you as an individual, and it's a good thing to be known as someone who shows respect and courtesy to others. In fact, research shows that workplace etiquette is essential for keeping and being promoted in a job. Secondly, and of equal importance, workplace etiquette improves work relationships. It shows your team that you care about them, their work, and their value to the team. Now we're going to go over 7 workplace etiquette tips to help build teamwork in any economy. Number 1, attitude is everything. Have a great attitude like your job depended on it. You may not be in your dream job or have a dream boss, but don't wear a negative attitude on your sleeve. It does show. Refrain from gossip and negative talk about anyone on your team. Rather than building you up, condescending conversations diminishes you instead. Tip number 2, notch up nonverbal communication. You're going to want to have good eye contact to show others that you're listening. Avoid crossing your arms over your chest, as this can indicate you're not approachable. Being labeled as unapproachable can often lead to exclusion. You should always show that you're part of the team. Tip number 3, be timely, not tardy. Regardless of your age, job title, or level in the team hierarchy, be on time for work and for meetings. Better yet, be a few minutes early. Punctuality shows your team that you respect them and their time. Should always aim to complete your tasks and projects on time. Don't let the team down with any excuses. If you need help, you can always ask. Tip number 4, and this is an important one. Use proper tech etiquette. Don't leave your team hanging. Answer their emails and their calls in a timely way. By the end of the day, if possible, and you should never exceed more than 24 hours. Try to aim for ending each day with wrapping up all your communications. Always be sure to use proper grammar and punctuation in your emails as well. Tip number 5, go the extra mile. Look for ways that you can help out and show your support to a teammate. If he or she has a heavy day and deadlines to meet and you don't, step up and offer to help. Your assistance and team spirit will be appreciated by everybody in the group. Tip number 6, contribute value to team meetings. Focus on the meeting, not on the side of conversations, or be on your smartphone. Be open to others' ideas and points of view. Avoid a my way or highway attitude, as it makes you appear selfish and undermines team spirit. Let others finish speaking before sharing your thoughts. That's just common courtesy. And tip number 7, show appreciation. Everyone likes to be appreciated. Sincerely verbalize and demonstrate thanks as often as possible. Do this both publicly, when appropriate, and privately. If your boss congratulates you on a job well done, and you had help from your team members, be sure to tell your boss about it so they receive credit too. They'll be more likely to rally around you the next big project. Teamwork etiquette. Teamwork is the collaborative effort of a group to achieve a common goal or to complete a task in the most effective and efficient way possible. You should always keep in mind that each and every employer looks for employees who are good at working with others. What do you think teamwork is all about? Take the next few moments to read over the information below. And remember, without teamwork, none of this could be possible. Let's dive in a little more. Divide the work. Teamwork does not mean everyone does everything together. It requires getting organized and breaking each project down into its component parts. Ask for help. If you're falling behind or you need to focus specifically on one task, ask for help from others when you need it. That's teamwork. Remember the common goal. If you want to be a team, you need to share that common goal. What's our common goal here? It's to transport students safely to and from school each day. Let's celebrate together. Appreciate the work of your teammates. Say thank you for small or specific contributions. And when you achieve a milestone together, let's celebrate together. Email etiquette. Email etiquette is the use of appropriate language, conventions, and formality in an email. Business emails usually demand formal language and strict adherence to proper grammar and spelling. This is so important. The point of email etiquette is to help streamline communication. Make your requests and information clear and concise, but give enough information so that your recipient understands what your message indicates. Unfortunately, you can't unsend a poorly composed email. Here are 10 rules for email etiquette. Number 1, use a clear, professional subject line. You want to show your recipients clearly what the email will cover. Many people will decide whether or not they open an email depending on a subject line. For someone who gets hundreds of emails a day, a subject line that is to the point makes it easier for them to sort and prioritize their day. Number 2, proofread every email you send. And I can't stress this enough. Make sure there are no grammatical or professional errors. Have you spelt the recipient's name correctly? Are there spelling errors? Are you using simple sentence structures and correct capitalization and punctuation? Ignoring these compromises your professionalism and credibility of your email. Some tips to remember are don't type in all caps. It appears you could be yelling. Be cautious of your font size. Make sure it isn't too large or too small. You always want to use a professional font type. Make sure it's legible. And choose your font color wisely. Black or blue is most common. Rule number 3, write your email before entering the recipient's email address. This is the best practice. That way, in case you accidentally send the message, it won't go anywhere. That way, you have the opportunity to check for errors before actually sending it. Rule number 4, double check you have the correct recipient. There's nothing worse than sending an email to the wrong person or a confidential document to the wrong person. Be careful of this. Rule number 5, ensure you CC all relevant recipients. It is unprofessional to leave out a colleague or a client from a relevant email chain. Be mindful of who should be informed about a given matter and respect that. Rule number 6, you don't always have to reply all. Think about this. Who needs to read your response? No one wants to read an email chain from 20 people that it has nothing to do with them. Keep that in mind. Rule number 7, reply to your emails. Most people at some point have felt swamped by the large number of emails they have to sift through. But replying to email is good etiquette, especially if the sender is expecting a response. Acknowledging you received the email but will get back to the sender at a later time is also a professional alternative than to ignoring it. Rule number 8, include a signature. professional to include your full name, your title, the company, and your contact number. The department should use the same template as an email signature. It creates consistency and looks professional. You can save your template in Microsoft Office. Take a look to the right side of the screen. Here's a good example of what you could use. Rule number 9, use the appropriate level of formality. For instance, begin with Dear blank. Use please and thank you where necessary, and always end your email with the appropriate phrase of kind regards, thank you, sincerely, and so on. And finally, rule number 10, keep your emails brief and to the point. No one wants to read an enormous chunk of text. You can always follow up with the matter later or suggest they give you a call if they have any further questions. A recent study found that the average worker spends 6.3 hours a day sifting through emails and responding to them. That's more than 30 hours per week. Keep that in mind. Attendance expectations. Attendance as a work ethic includes sticking to work schedules, being ready to start work on time, remaining on the job during the workday to complete the duties, and limit the use of leave. Attendance can be quantified and verified, and employers keep employee attendance and have leave records. So why is attendance so important? Regular attendance and punctuality are vital attributes for all employees. It is important for employees to attend work regularly and arrive at work on time. Failure to do so detrimentally affects employee morale and productivity. If you know you're going to be out or you know you're going to be running late, you should follow the proper steps of notifying your supervisor. Giving ample notice is key to ensure your responsibilities are covered for the duration of the time you're out. You can contact your manager in at least one of the following forms: by phone call, text message, or email. Dispatchers who work the opening shift should notify their direct manager as well as the early morning manager. General office etiquette. Here are some general office etiquette expectations. Let's jump right in. Make sure you're on time. Time is precious, and no one wants to feel like you think their time is not important. Whether arriving at the office, attending a meeting, or a deadline, being prompt shows that you're serious about your work and respect other people's time. You're going to want to avoid gossip. You think high school's over? That's not always the case in some workplaces. While it's natural to stress over work, be careful about the extent of what you share. How you treat people reflects on your character, and if you speak negatively about your coworkers, people might associate you with that negativity. Understand your work environment. It's important for you to observe and understand your environment so that you know what's appropriate and what's not. You'll learn the values and policy of your company over time, but it's good practice to research and observe in order to navigate through the company. Keep it clean. At work, you don't want to be known as someone who can't pick up after themselves. Keeping your desk or your workspace clean and organized reflects your professional brand. Be mindful of how others work. People have different working styles, so be mindful when you're in an open office. Some people might want to blast music, and others might want silence. If you listen to music or podcasts or any other audio, do it with a respectable volume. Be personal but professional. Since you'll see your colleagues the majority of the week, it's human to get to know them on a personal level. But it's important to remember people's boundaries. Sharing personal information is choice. I'd be careful of what you choose. Show genuine interest. People can tell when you're actively listening. When you're speaking with others, give your undivided attention and maintain good eye contact. That way, people are aware that you are focused and also a pleasure to be around. Introduce others. If you're new to a workplace, or even if you've been on a job for a while, there's always more people to meet. It's not fun to stand awkwardly with a group of people who have no idea who you are, or vice versa. When given the opportunity, introduce people to each other. It's polite and it makes you feel valued. Be polite and professional in all communication forms. For phone, email, meeting, face-to-face, it's important to remain professional. When emailing, keep in mind that there is no context for tone or facial expressions, so messages should be short but friendly. Put down the cell phone. Nowadays, it's hard to put down our cell phones, and it gives the impression that you're not really paying attention, and it can reflect poorly on you and your company's work. In meetings, put your phone off or turn it to silent. Knock first. This may sound a bit elementary, but you'd be amazed on how some people don't think twice about walking through a closed door without knocking first. Taking the time to knock first demonstrates respect for the person and the other side of the door. Don't interrupt meetings. Have you ever been in a meeting and somebody boldly interrupts? When a group of employees are in a business meeting, it is most polite to wait until the end of the meeting is finished to interrupt. Answer your office phone. It is for business use. If someone's calling, it generally means they have a work-related question or concern. Don't be known as not answering your phone. Return voicemails. When you get a voice message, return it as soon as possible. Respond to your emails. We've talked about this. Always try to respond in a timely manner. It's not only courteous to respond quickly to an email, but also can affect the productivity and efficiency of the organization. Be polite. Most people were taught this at a young age. Polite means saying please, thank you, and having good manners. Courteous behavior goes a long way and should be the expected approach to communicating. Offer to help others. Sometimes we all need a helping hand. Watch for the opportunities to help someone else. Helping others in a time of need will benefit you down the road. Respect authority. Everyone has a boss. We don't always agree with the decisions that are made, but it's important to treat those in authority with respect. Professionals understand the importance of respecting those in authority. Strive to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. It's important to always follow the chain of command. A chain of command is an organizational structure that documents how each member of the company reports to another. At the top of the chart would be the founder, owner, or CEO, and the people report to him would be below that. Here is transportation's department hierarchy. It is expected that all employees follow the chain of command and report directly to their appropriate manager with any issues or concerns or questions. If the direct manager cannot find a resolution, it will be escalated to an administrator at that time. Let's take a few moments to review the department hierarchy. We may not always consciously think about etiquette. There are certain formalities that can show you are above and beyond employee. Good business etiquette can accelerate your career and make a more comfortable work environment. Remember, the general key etiquette skills are to respect others, their time, workplace habits, avoid gossip, and research your work environment. What does your etiquette say about you? In case you missed it, let's recap. Attendance is important. We need you here. Be timely, not tardy. Whether it's to show up to work or to a meeting, arrive on time. Be a team player. Offer to help others. Ask for help if you need to. Don't forget to go the extra mile. Show appreciation and work together towards the common goal. Meet any deadlines that you were given. If you're coming close to the end of a deadline and need help, remember, you can ask for help. Your teammates will help you. Write emails using the proper spelling and grammar. This is so important. Make sure you're responding to your emails in a timely fashion. Aim to do it by the end of each day. Keep your workstation clean. Communicate at a respectable volume. Be polite to others. And make sure you're always following the chain of command. Before we leave, I'd like you to think about something. If attitude is everything, what does yours say about you? All staff will be held accountable to meet all the expectations set forth by the transportation management team. If you have any questions about this or any other training, please speak with your immediate manager. Thank you for joining us today for Workplace Etiquette.